Hey everyone. It is 9 a.m. and it is the 26th of November, and this is our Scott County Fiscal Court business meeting. And I would like to ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. I'm glad to be with you all this morning, and know everyone's excited about Thanksgiving, and we've got many things. We're blessed beyond measure here in Georgetown, Scott County, and looking forward to the holiday, but very thankful for the blessings we have. So with that said, Ms. Hamilton, will you call the roll?
Mr. Hostetler. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Wallace.
Here.
Mr. Corman.
Present.
Mr. Ellison.
Here.
Mr. Pratt.
Here.
Mr. Livingston.
Here.
Mr. Culbertson.
Here.
Judge Covington.
Present. That said, let the record reflect that we have a quorum and can conduct business. First item on our agenda, item number 4, minutes from our previous meeting. Motion from David Livingston.
Second.
Second from Rob Jones. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item, transfers as presented by our treasurer and Stacy Hamilton. Any questions or comments related to those? Motion from Kelly Corman.
Second.
Second from Chad Wallace. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 6, bills and hand checks. Motion. Ryan Pratt with the motion.
Second.
Second from Kelly Corman. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That leads us to Ordinance 2503, second reading, RV campgrounds. I will ask Mr. Culbertson to read the summary. Then we will take any public comment, if there is any, and then any comment from magistrates, questions, comments. And then we'll go from there. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes, sir. Scott County Fiscal Court Ordinance Number 2503, an ordinance amending the Georgetown-Scott County zoning ordinance regarding RV campgrounds. Summary. 1. Pursuant to its powers under KRS 67.083K, adopts the recommendations of the Georgetown-Scott County Planning Commission following a public hearing on October 8, 2025, as amended by the Scott County Fiscal Court at a public meeting on November 14, 2025, for amending the Georgetown-Scott County zoning ordinance regarding RV campgrounds. 2. Expands the definition of agricultural use recreational to include RV campground and RV campground, meeting the requirements of the zoning ordinance. 3. Adds definitions of cabin, lodge, open space, park model RV type, primitive camping site, recreational vehicle campground, and usable open space to the zoning ordinance. 4. Under specific use regulations, adds a new section regulating agricultural recreational uses and procedures in A1R zoning. 5. Under specific use regulations, adds a new section regulating the development of recreational vehicle parks and or recreational vehicle campgrounds, and containing provisions on applicability, general requirements, including lot layout, landscaping, open spaces, utilities, roadways, additional standards, and application criteria. 6. Amends conditional uses to include public and private parks and recreational areas, including RV campgrounds, as an accessory use to the principal use on the property. 7. Deletes subsection E of Article 4, Section 4.1, Section 4.11, permitted uses. 8. Amends agricultural districts A1, A1S, and A1R permitted uses to include A1R zones RV campgrounds. 9. Provides that if any section, subsection, paragraph, sentence, clause, phrase, or a portion of this ordinance is declared illegal or unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such declaration shall not affect the remaining portions hereof. 10, grants the Planning Commission discretion to make non-substantive revisions as necessary to ensure internal consistency, clarity, and conformity with adopted formatting standards. 11, provides that all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. 12, takes effect upon passage and publication. This ordinance was introduced and publicly read for the first time on November 14th, 2025, and the second reading is today, November 26th, 2025. And the full text, I guess I already said that, the full text of this ordinance can be examined in the Fiscal Court Clerk's office.
Would there be any public comment? Good morning, Mr. Murphy.
Good morning. I'm Dick Murphy, and you've heard what I have to say. I'm not going to spend more than a minute here doing it. I represent Kentucky Bluegrass Experience Resort. For the reasons we've talked to before, we think this ordinance should be voted down. We don't think it'll allow new RV parks in Scott County. And I know you made a change to the easement provision. However, we think by requiring sign-off from existing easement owners, that takes away property owners' existing legal common law rights. So we're opposed to this. And I won't spend any more time. You've heard what I got to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Would there be any comment or question from any magistrate? Roll call vote.
Motion for approval?
Oh, better do that.
Yeah.
Oh, better do that. Thank you, Mr. Wallace, for reminding me of that
Yeah.
needed item. We have a motion, or we need a second now.
I'll second.
Second from Dwayne Ellison. Any other questions or comments?
Is the easement stuff still in here?
No, it's
We were
been,
just looking for, did we take that whole section?
No,
out?
the whole
it's on,
section's been taken out.
no, it's on page,
I thought-
no, we just said,
Took it all out.
Yeah, took it out.
no, we went back to what was, you all wanted to go back to what was recommended by the Planning Commission.
Yeah,
If you voted.
we used to got those sentences, but we were just looking to make sure it's still in here. I don't see any of it.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh, it's there.
These connections cannot be made to easements transversing through adjacent properties without written consent of impacted property owners. That is on page, that is the language that was sent to you all by the Planning Commission. It's on page 9.
Page 9.
There was some proposed added language that was previously in there in red that was a proposed amendment, but it was voted against, so that amendment was taken out.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Jones?
I've been going back and forth on this, and I even watched the video again last night because I was so confused last time, but I still think this is probably a little bit more stringent than what we really need for an RV ordinance, so I'm going to vote no.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Corman?
Yes.
Mr. Ellison?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Livingston?
Yes.
Judge Covington?
Yes. With that said, we will move forward.
Judge,
from
once
there.
again, I'd like to thank Mr. Murphy and
Oh, yeah.
Chad and those that worked on this ordinance. They spent a lot of time on this. It was well over a year. I didn't
Well
make it to
over.
as many meetings as I wanted to with it, but
Yeah.
they really worked hard on it, so
And the
really
planning-
appreciate their time.
Planning guys too.
I don't count him. I don't count him. I didn't see Red over there, so.
It's in your blind spot.
Thank you, Red.
No, I agree, Rob, and I'm grateful for the time and effort from the staff, the committee, and Mr. Murphy's time as well. It was well respected, and then
And Cam.
and Cam on it. So no, I appreciate that, and glad to have this addressed and move forward. Ryan
I have
Pratt.
a question. Do we need to vote to lift the moratorium now, or I don't know what we should do with
It
that.
was extended through,
I don't think so. You can, but yeah, through December
Whatever that date is.
27th. So
Do we let it go, or do we vote? I don't know.
Well, that's a good question. I do think that at our next business meeting, that could be an agenda item. It can't be an agenda item today because of special called
Yeah.
meeting with time
true.
change. But we can go ahead and lift the moratorium because we have a ordinance in place. So, good, appreciate that point. So next item, 8, shelter agreement gathering place. Candace is here. Candace, would you like to make any comments? There's really no change other than dates.
Is there any way that you can skip me just for a second? Heather is on her way. Is that okay?
Oh, I think we can do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
I mean, you can add stuff, but you can change
Yeah.
the order.
yeah. We'll go to number 9, Recovery Initiative Agreement, Bluegrass Ad. Jared and I met with Gene Dethridge from the ad, and then have talked with him, corresponded via email a few times, and what Gene and the ad are proposing is a partnership with the ad counties and cities, and they are applying for the state opioid abatement grant fund monies, and their agreement with us is conditional on getting a approval from that state grant application. And they are essentially asking for $5,000 of opioid abatement funds. It's my understanding a one-time ask. And, they're trying to do some strategic planning, coordinate prevention, recovery, and reentry systems, collaborate between federal, state, and local funding efforts. What I really liked is he was hiring staff that was going to serve as a judicial liaison. I think that is needed. That is needed. But I think big picture, trying to align services and connect services through the opioid abatement funds. And I think it's a modest request. I think it is trying to provide a coordinated effort amongst our region. So questions or comments? Would there be a
$5,000.
$5,000?
Just a one-time?
There's an agreement, Bluegrass Recovery Initiative agreement.
Just one time.
Just one time is what I understood.
I have a question.
Question.
And I don't remember seeing it in here, I was just talking to Ryan about it. Do you know how much the grant was for?
1 million.
1 million, do you know what the time period of the use of that grant is?
I think it's over.
Is it 3 or?
I think it's over
5 years.
5 is what I thought.
I thought it was in the email or something.
I thought it was 5.
Rick called me last night.
That's what it
Yeah.
says in the email.
I think, Judge, he probably has spoken to you about this.
And
but-
he's very much of support for it, I
Yeah.
believe, especially because he thinks it'll connect services and go ahead, though.
He just wanted to make sure that he hopes this grant is going to help the people and not just create another job for somebody to do administrative work, but to get actually in hands-on to help the people who are in recovery. And he wanted me to relay that to the court this morning, so.
Well, I think Gene, his topic, his title is Recovery Support Specialist. And I think, meeting with him, I think that's his full intent. So.
I make a motion.
Motion from Kelly Corman, second from Dwayne Ellison. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 10, this is really an update just to streamline our open records policy and what's posted and following requirements that are needed from KRS, correct, Cam?
Yes, that is
You want to
correct.
comment on anything else there?
Not much. Just a recent review of the site led me to discover that we maybe have some things we need to improve a little bit. So we've drafted this policy. I would request you all approve it, and we'll get the site updated and be up to speed.
And this was what goes on the website. If people have questions, they have those answers right there, and it's all spelled out. And
This is also modeled after, or like the city has a policy, and this is basically the same thing they have.
so,
So
any questions or
Stacy's
comments?
giving me a little bit of feedback. I'm sorry, keeping her.
No,
She gave me a little
just
feedback on it, too.
Remind everybody that we already have one.
Yes, we do.
From many, many years ago. and
Yeah,
this
it's an
supersedes
update.
it.
Yeah.
I just add that a couple of us went to the KCO conference a couple weeks ago, and there was Rich Ornstein did a whole thing, and this basically mirrors what he did. So,
Oh, that's good to hear, because I didn't talk to him.
yeah, Rich. I mean, it was he did a whole presentation. A lot of stuff that was in his presentations exactly in
All
here.
right.
So it was a very good presentation to watch. So.
Going to KCO, those little things you pick up are beneficial.
And
Thanks for that
things
comment.
like that are when you discover, oh, we need to go update that. So,
Motion.
Motion from Rob Jones, second from David Livingston. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Parks and Recreation reappointment, it's D.T. Wells, as I shared. He's eligible for another term.
We run a background check on
That might be of need. So would there be a motion from David Livingston?
Second.
Second from Dwayne. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And that leads us to now. Heather, how are you? So glad you joined us. We were sharing the consideration of the agreement, and Candace said, Joe, could you skip down? But we're happy to do so. And I want to share before Candace talks that you all had a fundraising event to support your program this past weekend, and very well attended. And the testimonies that you shared in the video were just, I appreciate what you all are doing to help people that are in need, that just need a hand up. And appreciate your heart and all the volunteers. I know that you're the lead volunteer, but it would not happen without your leadership and your board. And I appreciate the real effort to go out and get support for what you all do, because the numbers of nights that women and children and men are finding shelter with the gathering place and a warm meal. And then I know that you all are making every effort to connect those individuals to services. And that's where, you gotta be safe, you gotta have a place to sleep and get something to eat, but being able to connect them to those services lets them have the opportunity to help themselves. So just from it's Thanksgiving, and everybody reflects on things right now, blessings, but you all are a blessing. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to follow that, but for the White Flag Shelter, we just are renewing. I don't think there's any changes at all. Things seem to be working well as they are. Since the ESG grant, we have been able to kind of funnel some more funding into the gathering place. So that doesn't change this contract, but it just kind of beefs up our partnership. So just wanted to let you all know, in October alone, they have helped in the low barrier shelter 58 men and 17 women, and those are unduplicated numbers. Every night they have space for 14 women and 30 men in the low barrier shelter again, and that also includes children, depending on what their family makeup looks like. I will say that the numbers have been really high. And
Candace, can I, not
Yeah.
to interrupt you, but just remembering from the other day, the reality is you all have had the numbers, you've had to turn people away.
We've
Like,
turned
do I remember 74 as a number?
4 women in the month of October and 22 children. So yes, but we're working to change that.
I know you're working to change
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, it's okay. I was going to say, I know they have had to turn people away, but it's really when they are very full. Heather tries really hard not to turn people away. And we did a tour with KHC, Kentucky Housing, last week, and she was explaining that we try to catch people before they physically get to the shelter, because a lot of times people call before. And so we try to problem solve with them if the number is already at capacity. But if they actually show up at the shelter, Heather and her team will not put them on the street. She will get creative on finding them a place to sleep, and I feel like that's very unique for a shelter, because a lot of times in my past life I would call and they'd say, sorry, we're full, and turn you away. But Heather and her team work really hard to try, if they can't meet their needs, to try to find somebody who can. And so that's just, like you've said, a great community resource. The low barrier shelter I know was kind of new for us, a new concept for our community, but I wanted to highlight that that is proving to work very effectively. We've had quite a few people who the gathering place has tried to reach out to in the past, but due to like requirements and barriers to entering programming, they haven't been able to or didn't want to seek shelter and assistance. One example is a gentleman who has lived in the dugout in town for years, and he has transitioned into the low barrier shelter for a while, and then now has transitioned into the gathering place program, which is kind of a next step in our minds. And so that's somebody who is no longer living out in the community in a place that's not meant for habitation, that is now getting assistance on their own time. I think the key there is letting them come to us. There's no pressure. Letting them kind of figure out what they need day by day. And so Heather has tons of success stories like that. We also were able to respond to some of the flood victims from Frankfurt and Falmouth. And so that was a huge resource for our community as a whole, because a lot of folks were displaced with that. And then I think the last thing I wanted to share was anecdotally, I am getting calls, and Heather's getting calls from folks in the community, some of our local elected officials, about people we're concerned about when we see them out and about, whether they've been on the same bus stop bench for a few days or kind of setting up camp on a certain corner. And I'm getting that call, or Heather's getting that call. And I think that just shows a lot about the effectiveness of our low barrier shelter. We're hoping that those calls can skip law enforcement, can skip code enforcement. Heather can intervene, help give them resources, and gently move them to where they need to be. And I think that takes a load off of police force and code enforcement, and we're able to humanely respond to them. And so I think that system is kind of getting put in place, and we really appreciate that about the community reaching out to us to help folks who are in need. So I just really think the low barrier shelter is becoming a very, very important, crucial resource, and I'm happy to answer questions, or Heather's happy to answer questions.
Heather, please, and then Candace, before I forget, would you just give us, after Heather shares, just give us a short snippet about the recent news about the grant monies that were...
Grant money. I would share in this season, I'm excited to say we welcomed a father and son into the low barrier shelter about a week and a half ago, and we've helped him overcome several barriers that he would have had getting into an apartment. One was old charges, and he had to take an anger management course to prove that he's not a danger, which he's the most genteel man I think I've met. His son is with him, and so he enrolled him in school immediately. There's a number of things we've helped him work through. He's gotten a job that he starts tomorrow, but I'm moving him into an apartment this afternoon after a week and a half, and that's through the low barrier shelter. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
We're grateful for that.
Any questions for Heather, anybody?
I've got one just out of curiosity. Are there any churches that really partner with you guys? Because it seems like it's such a good opportunity for local churches to be involved.
Yes, we have 13 churches that are part of our financial partnerships. So that means a monthly type of contribution or some kind of financial contribution during the year. And then we have several churches that partner with us in our meals program. So we're on pace this month to serve over 4,800 hot meals for dinner and lunch. And so churches are part of that partnership, so are HOAs, so are individual families, and businesses, and all kinds of people.
Like a group from a church will sign up to take, I've got the 4th Thursday night dinner.
Yes.
And, yeah, and that's a very strong,
Yes.
because I see it all the time on
Yes.
social media. That's a strong,
It's a strong program, and it's a needed program. It's part of that open door mentality where we welcome them in. And that's actually how the gentleman that Candace shared about from the dugout came into our shelter. It was through a feeding program. And we really used that opportunity to build a relationship with him. And then he tried us out for the cold weather shelter last year. And he's lived in the dugout down by the cemetery for years and years. Like, we all know him, if by sight, for sure. But he is one of my best volunteers. He keeps the kitchen. He's integrated back into community now where he doesn't feel uncomfortable. Next step is his own housing. Yep.
Well, great. Yeah, thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Were you referring to the renewal of ESG funds?
Yes.
Okay. We did receive renewal of our ESG funds. So our ESG funds, we help fund part of the emergency shelter, and then we also have the rapid rehousing program here in Scott County, which has been wildly successful. I can't even explain how successful that program has been. And so that funding technically runs out December 31st of this year, but we received word that we were renewed, so it wasn't a competition year. We didn't technically have to apply. We just requested renewal. And so just based on how we've been running our program and reporting to KHC, they granted us another round of funding. And so that started July 1st of this year, so they kind of overlap, and it goes through December 31st of next year. So we have those funds again. And so quickly, the rapid rehousing is meant to be a medium-term rental assistance program. It stays with a person so they can go find housing, and that assistance goes with them. So a person can qualify by being literally homeless. So the program's goal is to get people from unhoused to housed as quickly as possible. And then they can receive 12, 24 months of rental assistance while we try to work out what is holding them back from being self-sufficient. Sometimes that's just we need to get into like housing authority or income-based housing. Sometimes it's that we need to help them increase their income, things like that. A part of that program that I don't think we even knew about when we applied for it is called the Move-In Assistance Program, and that has been very, very life-changing for a lot of folks, specifically at the Gathering Place. And so what that Move-In Assistance Program is it's through the Rapid Rehousing Funds, but it is not the medium term. It is just move-in assistance. And so the qualifying things that we can pay for in that is rental arrears, utility arrears, application fees, security deposit, and first month's rent. And that alone can be a large chunk of money, as you all know. And so we have a lot of folks in our community who are working and have income to be able to afford housing, but they cannot get over that big lump sum because they're either living in the motel and paying more than I do in my mortgage and motel stays, or somebody is allowing them to stay on their couch but charging an enormous amount of rent, things like that. And just surviving, and so they cannot save up that money. And sometimes that gets up to being, $5,000, $6,000 when you add it all together. And so folks who could afford rent but just can't get over that, we can do move-in assistance so we can kind of help them get over that hump, and then they are set up to be able to be housed. And so we have done quite a few of those. And yeah, one of them is today. And so folks who are working here in the community, and then we also have the schools have been really strong in that, finding families who are living in the motels really and spending a lot of money there and not able to get themselves into housing. That's been a really powerful funding source and really kind of set people off so they can be self-sufficient.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Any additional questions? Would there be a motion to approve the agreement? Motion from David Livingston, second from Dwayne Ellison. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And with the weather coming up this weekend, you think we'd do another social media post, Mike, about and sharing about the option that people have? Appreciate it. Next, that leaves us last item on our agenda no, not last item. We're going to go back to EMS new hires.
Good morning. I have 6 new hires on behalf of Chris we need to recommend. First is Angela Stanfield. She'll start on December 1st. And then Chris Perry, also start on December 1st. Angela Stanfield will start at $14.97 an hour, and Chris Perry at $14.56. Then also we have 4 part-time new hires. First is Austin Nolsher, and the second is Sarah O'Donas, Gavin Parker, and Devin Thompson. Austin will start at $17.69 an hour, and the 3 EMTs will start at $12.77 an hour on a part-time basis. This recommendation will fill 2 of the 3 EMTs that you approved at the last meeting. We still have 1 EMT position to fill, and then we have a paramedic who just resigned. His last day is going to be November 20th, so we do have 2 positions still to fill in EMS. So I present that recommendation to you.
So you beat me to on behalf of Rick, I was going to ask. On behalf of Rick Hostetler, I was going to ask that, but you beat us to it.
Yeah.
Any questions for Jeff or Chris Runyon?
I sent Jeff an email. Well, one of the ladies works for my current company, so I'm going to, if we're going to do them all in one motion, I'll just abstain, so.
Respect that.
I'll make a comment and appreciate how quickly we've moved to fill these spots and hopefully can get the next 2 pretty quick. So with that, I'd make a motion for approval.
Second from Rob Jones. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that leads us to 13, Road Department position discussion, safety CDL coordinator. JR, come on up. JR came to me, it's been, right before fall break, and mentioned that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration was eliminating lower volume training providers, and we follow into that category of lower volume training providers for CDL. I think it's called a TPR provider program. Is that right, JR?
Yes.
And, we really depend heavily on that. It's very crucial to the mission. But with that program, I think, JR, you mentioned we have 21 or 22 employees that hold a CDL.
21 as of this afternoon.
Yeah.
I've got 1 retiring today.
Yeah. And, so talking about just the amount of requirements that come with that include, submission of new physicals and medical cards and updates, and there's just a lot of submission of paperwork to the KSP portal. And then, KACO, and I think KACO's very, we've been doing the safety committee here for a while, and we've been involved with that, and Jeff and JR's been involved with that for a long time.
And Jeff's opened our eyes in the last couple of 3 years to concentrate more on safety and these meetings and everything. And we've never had actually a safety compliant person. And
So JR asked, said, hey, what would the court think about of a request to take an existing employee and add other duties as assigned? And this would be probably a couple days a week. Is that what you shared with me?
Yes.
And they would be doing both CDL compliance and then vehicle safety and road sign compliance and safety as well. And I'm going to turn it over to you, and then I want to talk about that first thing I was talking about. If, in fact, we are removed as a TPR provider, then I've already reached out to Ryan Quarles, and then Mara Mabry has reached out to me about, probably what we'll have to look at is a partnership with BCTC, which is good, but that would just be another coordination that this position would have to work on, because we would have to have an outside entity to help training and stay updated. So I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about, and then magistrates can ask questions and
yeah, like you said, In the last 5 years, CDLs has got very complicated due to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is enacting all these new rules and regulations and everything, and then the Kentucky State Police or whatever state kind of follows their lead on what they need to put in place. Every driver's got to have, CDL driver's got to have a CDL portal set up through Kentucky State Police. You got to continually update it with medical cards. A medical card that you got to have is anywhere from 3 months to year, 6 months. If you're on any kind of medications, you get a 3 month, 6 months medical card, and then you got to go back. But it's due to so many fraudulent medical cards, driver CDL license, cross country trucking and everything. So this is quite a bit of work to keep track of all this stuff. We do the scheduling of physicals, the scheduling of new license, renewal of license, just something to take a little pressure off me.
Questions?
Do we currently train, do we have anybody that does any of the CDL training?
We have, yes.
We do it in-house a lot,
We
right?
have been, but what's happening, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration controls who's the training provider. And what happened when they went to all these rules back in 2020, I think it was, they changed the rule where you had to go through an accredited truck driving school in order to apply for a CDL. So what they did, they knew there was going to be some problems. They had that training provider registry set up where you could get certified to be a training provider, which we did. They didn't expect the huge amount of training providers. Somebody with 2 trucks could become a training provider. Now they've realized that there's tens of thousands of training providers. They don't have the time to go in and audit all these people to make sure the training is provided and everything. So they're kind of cutting back on the low volume training providers.
Okay.
Which maybe we had 2 this past year.
Because Mara called me about trying to find, she's looking for instructors.
Yeah.
It's her problem. She doesn't
Yeah.
have enough instructors. So I don't know if there's a way to pipeline the guys you do have to maybe work with them, because she's looking for people that.
What I found out is the retired state police, vehicle enforcement people are applying for those jobs.
Okay.
I got a friend that's in that category that he kind of guided me through that training provider
Okay.
on how to get set up, but that is going away for our slow volume trainers.
Okay. Yeah, she was looking for adjuncts and whatever, so just part-time.
Professor Brandenburg.
That's right.
Professor Brandenburg, yes. Do you think we could, if the TPR goes away, do you think we could look at something like we do with like the paramedic program? Like, you come in, we'll pay for you to go through your CDL training with BCTC and our instructors, but you're going to sign a 3-year agreement that you pay the training back if you leave before then. I mean, we do that already with paramedics and EMTs. I don't know why we couldn't do it with CDL drivers. They're getting a CDL license that we're paying for.
We have been fortunate on getting, 2 CDL, already had their CDLs out of the last 4 people we hired, so that exists.
Yeah, how many
out
are
there,
you
too.
per year having to train to be a CDL?
In the past, we've trained up to 5 people. This year, maybe 2 people, I think.
It's kind of, I guess you're probably not losing them to become truck drivers very often.
No, we don't
Yeah.
have that bigger turnover. We
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. 'Cause that's what you're worried about. It's like we train them up. I don't think our people would,
Well, I think BCTC offers guarantee you get your license in 4 weeks. Is that true, for about $4,000?
Yeah.
They've got a program, and
Yes.
I don't know the specifics. I need to.
And I guess there's
follow up
2
with
different levels of it, or two levels, type 1, type 2, whatever,
Yes.
CDL, or I don't know. About.
A, B,
Yeah.
yeah.
What other questions would anybody have?
Is there any cost associated? What-
There would be, and I don't have the answer to that. And Jeff, you're going to have to add something to someone's hourly rate
Yeah.
for increased responsibilities. But I don't have today to say, hey, we got to add X, because I don't have a frame of reference to
But
do that.
essentially, what we talked about is adding job duties, not a new job position.
Absolutely, no.
Right, that's all he's
No new
not asking
employee.
for, just other duties as
More
assigned.
workload, more paperwork, portals.
Special vice president like they do today.
Is that a motion?
Kelly just got fired up.
To the regional.
Executive Vice
Okay,
President.
So we're not voting on, will we have to go back and vote on the amount at the time being?
I think my goal was to have discussion today, and then if it's something that you all want us to try to nail down a dollar, budgetary consideration to it, we can bring that back. Or if somebody wants to make a recommendation.
I'll make a
pleasure.
recommendation. Go ahead.
Well, but I mean, we still gonna have to vote on the.
But if we vote it down, then we'll spend the time and effort to.
Or if we don't
approve the
vote and we
position.
wait until we get all the information at the next meeting, we can approve it then. Because either way, you can't really do anything until you know the dollar amount. From JR's perspective, nobody's going to take
JR might.
that. I don't think anybody will take the duties without knowing what their pay adjustment.
Yeah, but he could go on and start interviewing people who he
Yeah.
might want to put in that position, or,
Jeff and I discussed a little bit about, but we didn't come out with no dollar amount, and that'd be totally left up to whatever he.
Could we do it like up to a max of $1 an hour? I'm just saying $1 an hour, $2 an hour. I don't know or not.
I
You
don't
want the
want,
exact
because I
amount?
don't want to set the expectation that somebody's going to get $1 an hour and then, hey, you're going to get 50 cents, or hey, you're going to get 25 cents. I think we set the expectations. Well, but you still have to vote on the payroll change though, even if, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the budgetary impact has to be approved by the court.
How quick do you need to fill this?
Yesterday, no, whenever y'all,
I agree with David, let's just wait till we get
Yeah.
the amount that we're going to pay somebody. And
Put it on the next agenda.
I'm fine with doing it, just, but I think we ought to name him Captain CDL. Yeah. And that way he can have his captain in there.
All right. We will get additional recommendation for dollars, and then bring that back at the workshop, and then vote on it on the 12th.
Does this like affect, when you do this, you add these duties to this job description for this particular person, will that, if that person left or retired at some point, the next person that comes into that job will have all those same job duties?
I think you repose the position and.
With those?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering, does that change SOPs or job descriptions that we have to vote on as well?
I think you'd be approving a safety CDL, vehicle safety compliance coordinator, whatever y'all want to title it. And when you approve that position or approve that, then I think that's all that would need to be done. And today was to kind of gauge your temperature and get what the pleasure of the court was. So it's always better to talk about it in person than on an email, I think. So, does it sound good to you, JR?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Any other questions or comments? It's not on the agenda, but I can say that, truly grateful for your all's work, and we live in a great community, and got a lot of folks that, I want to make mention, like, I went and spoke at Great Crossing High School, part of the Thanksgiving food canned food drive assembly yesterday, and collectively, I believe Scott County Schools collected 86,000 items of food for the Amen House. So that just shows you that the support that there's here, and it's what makes Georgetown Scott County special. And go back and say again, Heather, thank you for all you all do, and got just a lot of things to be grateful for and blessed at this time of year. So Happy Thanksgiving. Comments from the magistrates? Any comments?
Speaking of collecting, one more thing, I'll get out here. I just got everything tallied up on the trash pickup countywide. It's like 6.2 tons, 614 bags of trash, so.
Clean Scott County. Thanks for your work on that.
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Murphy,
Thank y'all.
I didn't want to slow down the process earlier on the vote, so I did want to take this opportunity to say thank you to this body for the opportunity to be part of Scott County ordinance. It's first time I've had the experience, but the thing that I'm most happy about or pleased with is I really think that the ordinance that you passed here today represents the heart of Scott County's interests and desires because of the transparent process that we went through. If somebody didn't have an opportunity to say something about it, I have no idea. They have no excuse because there were multiple opportunities. So thank you.
no, thank you. Thank you for your time. With that said, is there a motion to adjourn?
Can I just
hold
make-
up. Hold up.
I wanted to make
David.
one quick comment to the emergency services that responded out at,
Lyle Road.
out at Lyle Road, and that, that was very thankful that they were able to get that, de-escalate that situation. Nobody was harmed in the process, so.
Kind of a domestic issue, juvenile domestic.
Barricaded subject.
And Judge, a shout to
Yeah.
Sheriff-
Sheriff Nettles, you want
Sheriff
to
Nettles.
comment on that real quick?
and plus all the drugs that are taken off our streets here in the last couple of weeks. I mean, that's been
No,
awesome.
on last Sunday, we responded out to Lyle Road Trailer Park. It came out first as a weapons offense about 8:40 a.m. The juvenile had fired one round through a bathroom door in their residence, and his sister was in that bathroom. It all stemmed from her taking too long in the bathroom. We responded on scene. We were able to get everybody out of the house. He barricaded himself in the bedroom. We obtained a search warrant for the residence, and while the SRT entry team was making entrance or breaching the front door, he fired one round through the door, striking his shield that the team was in the vicinity of. They had actually just set it down and hit the shield. It could have hit them. We backed out. Georgetown SRT team also came and assisted us. We talked to him for at least 2 or 3 hours on the phone, our negotiators, trying to get him to come out peacefully. He never did, so we went to our next option, which was deploying gas inside the residence. So us and Georgetown, they have an armored vehicle that we were able to use. They assisted us. We deployed a few canisters of gas in the house, and probably 3 or 4 minutes later, he comes out with his hands up. So it was great to. No one got hurt.
No one got hurt.
Exactly. Everybody made it home safe that day, so it was
Training
a
paid
great
off.
outcome.
Yeah, and kudos to all the massive amounts of drugs you all been taking off the streets. There's a news article about that today or yesterday I saw as well, so.
No.
I-75 and I-64 is.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for that.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Anything else? Motion to adjourn, would there be a motion?
I got you, Kelly.
Kelly, and Rob Jones was second. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.